Lots of fighting talk, of course, as you can imagine, from the Indonesians, that they are still in this, and of course, they still are. 90 minutes to get 4 goals, 4 unanswered goals, to force at least extra time, and that is what they are fighting for. The AFF Suzuki Cup, which has gotten a lot of attention right now as well, it would appear, as we look at the two teams in the tunnel, and they know the task at hand. We had some breaking news just before we came on air, and that was 4 Indonesian players, unfortunately, have been excluded from this match because they broke COVID protocols. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but that would be huge disappointing to the Indonesian camp, given the task at hand. Well, the rest of these players know they have to give it their absolute best and most to try somehow to stop this Thai team that has really captured the imagination. So good going forward, sturdy and steadfast at the back, and encapsulated by no one less than their captain, Chanatip Songkrasin, who is surely the leading contender for MVP. But don't take my word for it, let's hear from the experts. Roshan Rai, next to me here, who's been certainly licking his lips at the tantalizing affair that we've had. Roshan, it's been a fantastic tournament overall, but here we are now, the second leg. How do you feel this will go?
It really has been a great competition, and here we are. I mean, Thailand with such a commanding position to be in, 4 goals up from the first leg. Wonderful performance in that first leg. So controlled, so dominant, and it's rare in major finals to be in such a position, right? To have 4 goals from their first leg. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere in a final of a major competition. So if Indonesia were to somehow, I know the probabilities are very low, but if they were to somehow claw themselves back into this tie,
only one team has ever won the AFF Suzuki Cup, having lost the first leg, and that was Thailand against Indonesia, by the way, ironically, and that was in 2016. Can history repeat itself? We'll have to wait and see in a short while when the match gets underway. Stadium 4 hours ago, and there were already a lot of Indonesian fans. They are up for it today, but they've got their work cut out for them. When you look at the lineups, Thailand make 5 changes from the side that won that first leg. Manu Polking has restored many of what some would consider his first 11, or close enough as it were. Tiratan Bumatan returns from suspension. He is at left back. Paui will come into centre-back after the injury to... Kedua, who's been fairly regular, hasn't he? Tristando and Wirata, as I mentioned earlier, Elias Dola had that injury and came off in the first leg. Lots and lots of options though for Thailand, that's for sure. The two skippers here, Chanata we mentioned earlier on his, and to the right, Asnawi, who has been promised a house if he can win this, along with Irfan Jai. They both come from the same part of Indonesia. Their governor has he would like to do that if they can perform something pretty outstanding this evening. And they'll have to do it with these players here. 3 changes made by Shin Tae-yong. There was lots of speculation as to whether Egi Maulana would start today. The answer is yes. Pratama returns from suspension, and the very pacey forward Ramai Rumakek also gets a starting place today. Looking at their formation, they are going with the 4-2-3-1. Ramai Rumakek, as you said, Ramai Rumakek on that left-hand side. Dedek Setiawan is still the preferred forward. And as we mentioned, the rather bizarre news that 4 players broke protocols and have not been included today. Rizky Ramadani was one of them, Elkan Baggett another. In fact, there were 2 Rizkys involved as well, and Victor Igbonefo was the 4th player. Edo Febriansha is on the bench along with Irfan Jaya, who will be quite the impact player, I'm sure, if he's called upon. There are the 2 coaches. It's been relatively well-intentioned, the press conferences between the 2 in the run-up to this final. And a moment of remembrance now for family, friends and colleagues, every person who has passed on due to COVID-19. We must remember, of course, in the backdrop of COVID-19, this tournament was postponed twice, but in the grander scheme of things, of course, there is still important to remember we're in the middle of a global...
In these sort of conditions against a very experienced Thai team.
That's a good throw in, isn't it? Into the path of Wittan Sulaiman. Sada was strong. It is going to be a corner.
Again, that added tactical value that Pratama Arhan brings to this Indonesian side with those long throws in behind.
Which was waiting,
just see the contact here.
Now there's more contact here, isn't there?
It's
the other one.
It's come off. It looks like it's come off Wittan, so I don't understand how that's a corner. And it looks like he was actually bumped in from behind by Kritsada.
Not enough for a penalty, though, right?
I don't think so, but I don't think it's a corner as well.
Either.
It's come off Wittan last. Anyway.
With the header. Here is Chanatip. Clearance by Narubadin. Trying to keep up this pressure. Here's Ramai, who's got the pace. Ramai. Lovely turn from Wittan Sulaiman. Ricky Kambuaya. It's slipped in. Indonesia has got their goal with a large slice of luck. Ricky Kambuaya has struck early here. And has that given them just a little bit of hope?
Oh, that will give them a lot of hope. Still a long way to go, but what a start for Indonesia. Love the work from Rumakek down this left-hand side, keeps his composure, and wonderful what Wittan Sulaiman does there. He hangs on to the ball under pressure. We didn't see enough of that from him in the first leg. Taking on the responsibility, holding on to it. And then Kambuaya, all he can do really is try and drive that through the sea of legs and test the goalkeeper, keep it on target. And he tested Siwara, who on this occasion wasn't up to this challenge. It's a bad mistake from an experienced goalkeeper, but Indonesia won't care. Look at the defenders, it's gone through. That's poor goalkeeping, doesn't get behind the ball at all. Just takes his eye off it, perhaps careless from Siwarak.
Only the second. One shot, very good. And nicely done by Nadia. I think it just got everyone by surprise.
Yeah, Tanawat, it was with a bit of time and space. Everyone was still reorganizing themselves defensively. Gets the ball in space there. Nadeo, thankfully for Indonesia, was alert to the entire situation.
That's the kind of thing that would really upset Shin Tae-yong, wouldn't it? Gotta be alert. Don't want to be giving away a goal in those sort of circumstances. Tiraton. He's just opted to punch him. Perhaps he could have caught, but here come Indonesia now. Didik Setiawan is trying to get that up to Witan Sulaiman. They've opted to keep those two on that halfway line, haven't they? Witan and Ramai. Just on the off chance.
Well, they need to. They're in a position where they need to take a few, take more chances rather, more risk in this game. And just going back to the point about players going overseas, as we go to Asnawi, who's going to play in Korea.
Yeah, he's interested. He's telling Tiraton to get out.
He's made a clever run here, Tiraton, if they can find him with a throw. And unfortunately for Thailand, they don't have the long throw capacity of Pratama Arhan.
We've got 3 minutes more. That will be good news to Indonesia. Here's Narupadin, who just skips past Ramai. Oh, that was almost as spectacular from Tirasin. Would have been special.
Yeah, looking for the goal that would have taken him top, outright top on the scoring charts in this competition. Would have been pretty special if he gotten the right connection. Really good work from Narubadin. It's acceleration, away drop of the shoulder, and then a change of pace. Fantastic to watch on the ball. He carries it so well. Skips past players, can keep a hold of it. And you know, he knows how to find the final pass.
Here come Thailand now. That helps to win the ball back for Indonesia. We've got about a minute and a half left in this first half. Chanatip. He's been relatively quiet in this game so far, which is a good indication of how well Indonesians are performing at the moment. Last few seconds of the first half. Here comes Narubadin. The referee calls time on a breathtaking first half of football here, in which Indonesia have been magnificent.
They've been great to watch, wonderful entertainment. Indonesia full of hunger and desire, playing with a fantastic intensity and tempo, scoring their early goal, which I think would have given their fans and themselves a lot of hope. Ideally, would have wanted a second going into this halftime break, but look, can regroup in the halftime break, catch their breath, and come out hopefully rejuvenated for the second 45 to give us all the grand finale.
And hold up thanks to the early strike from Ricky Kambuaya. They are a quarter of the way through their mission to get 4 goals. And perhaps as a result of what we saw in the first half, Thailand are to make 3 changes. So Tanawat will make way for Pitiwat. who has actually been very regular in this tournament, a starter. Perhaps a little bit more control in midfield. Well, Tirisin Dangda is off, and Adisak, who had a fantastic tournament last edition, will be up front. And Wiratep also comes into the mix. And Wiratep goes into the centre-back role that was taken up by Paui in the first half. Your thoughts on these changes, Roshan?
I mean, when you look at Thailand's squad, they've got incredible quality. So I don't think there's going to be much of a dip. If anything, when you think of Petiwat coming into central midfield, that just helps secure things a bit more on the defensive front. I think he's a different type of player than Thanawat. And Petiwat can hold the ball a little bit more, stronger physically, can play more of a defensive presence there than if they need him to. Adisak coming on gives them a chance to give Tirasin a bit of a break. He's worked very hard for them in this competition, but also Manapolking here rotating the squad around, giving opportunities to some players who perhaps, you know, likes of Adisak, for example, not seen much in terms of minutes in this competition. And he still will have that physical presence up front and ability.
Can he finish off with Topo on the return? And that substitution has made a difference. Thailand have leveled things and go 5-1 on aggregate.
They've deserved that goal. Thailand for the start that they've made in the second half. And the fight shown here by Chanate, who just kept going and going, keeping a hold of the ball under pressure from two Indonesian players who were fighting to win it back. Kept the ball, Superchok played it into Bodin, who was actually trying to wrap his foot around, trying to create that angle so that he could wrap his foot around it and guide it towards the far post. Couldn't quite get it out from underneath his feet, so decided to have a toe poke at it. Nadeo could only push it out into the center of the penalty box. And Adisak has come on and made a difference. And I think that should be it for Thailand in terms of the title.
His 11th goal in the AFF overall, his first in this tournament. He scored 8 in the last edition, where he was the top scorer, but that one very, very important indeed. And that might put to bed some of the ghosts he may have had after missing a penalty and right at the end of that semi-final against Malaysia, which saw the Malaysians go through in 2018. But that, as Roshan said, is probably it though. Who knows? Well, a good early start for Indonesia in the first half, and now for Thailand in the second.
Yeah, they've regained control of this game, Thailand.
All three of the subs have played a role. Wiratep preventing the ball getting to Didik, Adisak scoring that goal, and Petiwat in midfield, controlling things.
That's right. Look at how strong he is there as well. Even though now he's just gone right through the back of him.
Just going back to that goal, Roshan, it was Chantic, remember, who just held onto the ball and build up to that goal.
That's right.
Incredible. He does it again and again. Here's Bodin Pala. Return ball to him from Superchok. Nadeo punches clear. Ramai can't clear the ball himself. It's an own goal! And they've got the lead here. Delight now for Manapolking, who surely must believe, as do the Thai fans, that is it.
Well, Indonesian dreams well and truly crushed here by Thailand. Bodin, what an impact down his left-hand side. Fighting for it first to these second balls, and it's unfortunate. I think Nadeo would have had that covered. There wasn't too much pace on that shot, but excellent work by Superchok to set this one up. And Asnawi sliding that one into the back of his own net. You know, there's been a bit of drama around Asnawi in his reaction to Faris Ramli's penalty that was saved. They could have given a free kick for that, but decided to play it on. A shot from Saraj, going into the back of the net via Asnawi.
No goal from Asnawi. I think that shot from Saraj could well have, awarding it to Saraj. That would have been off target. Either way, it was covered by Nadeo and it came off Asnawi. And that looks like it will be it, you would think. 6-1 now is the aggregate score. And the response is to bring on another strike.
Pace, energy in the wider positions. It's a lot of fun. Roller.
Came into this tournament late, flew in from Germany. It has been very much on the ball whenever he's taken to the pitch. There, the fans, you saw a little shot of them there. The Thai fans are certainly having a real blast. There you go, a great view of them. Here's Tiraton. Kutsana now joining the party. Stands the ball up. Almost away. Tiraton having a go. This job here. But he has said this, which is quite interesting. He said, of course, if you look at the number of touches there, Tiraton was that the most. As Indonesia come forward and it's found the far corner. A well-taken goal from Egy Maulana out of the blue. And they're level on the night here, Indonesia, and it's some. Ricky Kambuaya has got no support in the box, but he's done well here. Kambuaya, referee, does not point to the penalty. For a second, for a millisecond.
He fooled us there, didn't he, referee?
I thought so.
I thought he was looking to point to the spot. But Kambuaya again, I mean, I think he's been outstanding. Indonesia's best player, he throws himself to the floor in a desperate attempt to win a penalty. But I'm joking, of course, making a massive difference. There was an arm left behind from Tiraton. Referees.
Unnecessary. A little bit ugly at the end of this match. Tiraton's been told to get back, and a yellow card given quickly by the referee.
The referee quick on the scene. Show Tiraton the yellow card. There's an arm thrown out the face of Egy. Still having an argument, Egy and Tiraton.
Final chance perhaps for Indonesia. Try and get that third. Not that it would change anything overall. There was a foul in the process, and that will most likely be it.
Mano's already getting ready to celebrate. He's got Wasapon along with him. Arms outstretched. He looked like his lucky outfit. His black shirt, rolled sleeves rolled up, tucked into his jeans.
And clean underwear.
And his same underwear, but clean underwear.
Yes.
His dry cleaners have been working overtime. But it's Thailand here, Shazan.
And there you have it. A record-extending 6th AFF Suzuki Cup for Thailand. They have scored. Thailand deserving winners, Rich Roshan Wright.
As I said, many ways to win a football match, many ways to win a tournament, but Thailand's way has been absolutely the best way. It has been so enjoyable to watch them. They've controlled everything since the start. They've controlled matches, the way they've set themselves up, the quality that they've shown. Technically, tactically, it's been a brilliant watch and it's been wonderful to analyze. And it's
here at the National Stadium is Thailand 2, Indonesia 2 on aggregate. They win 6-2 and take back a 6th AFF Suzuki Cup. So as we await the prize-giving ceremony, the stage being set up there on the national stage.
Manu coming in is that he's worked in Thailand for a long time. He's very familiar with the players. He knows all of them. He knows the culture. He understands it very well, and that's crucial. That's vital for a foreign coach coming in to understand the culture that you're getting immersed in, and to find a way of working with it. And he's done incredibly well, and it's paid dividends for them in the competition. So we see the Man of the Match award for Ricky Kambuaya, another one I'm happy with.
Yes,
another one I'm happy with. It's a deserved one for Ricky Kambuaya. I think he's been Indonesia's best player. Just unfortunate he was on the unfortunate for him and for Indonesian fans, he was on the losing end. Not on the night, but on aggregate.
So those are your stats, and Thailand really managing to exert far more control in the second half.
Second half was a lot better from Thailand. The way they just controlled and dominated this game. Just a sign of how good a side they are, that they could go up a couple of gears and say, we're going to control this one, we're going to dominate this one, and they did.
Indonesia, they're going over to their fans, who've been brilliant throughout, and you know, the word, I think you and I have said it a number of times, is that this team needs patience, this needs time. Let them grow, let them flourish.
Absolutely. And without any unnecessary interference, let the team grow, let players, the younger players, go out and develop and try and challenge themselves in other leagues, higher level leagues. It's been a really good positive campaign for Indonesia and the national side. It's a very young team, very young squad. Shin Tae-yong's a highly experienced head coach, knows what he wants out of his team, knows how he wants them to be playing. And in that next step, yes, regional champions, kings of Southeast Asia again, but it cannot and should not end here. There needs to be a progression in their play, and needs to be a progression in their level, and that's where they'll see themselves at. You know, getting back amongst the elite of Asian football, and that's
where they see themselves, aren't they?
And that's the challenge. That's the key. They're trying to take that next step, trying to move up to that level.
Even Chanatik made the mention of it, that he was at Thais still struggling a little bit beyond Southeast Asia, and now smiles, and it's good to see from the Indonesians.
It has been a very good performance from the Indonesians. It's been an enjoyable campaign for them, and I mean, they deserve to smile. They do. It's a young team, a young squad. It's got a big bright future ahead of them if they get things right. You know, if they aren't distracted, if the development isn't interfered with, they can get players overseas. Lots of ifs coming up, but the talent is there, the squad is there. They have players capable of making that next step up in their development and carrying the team forward. And they've got a really good head coach in Shin Tae-yong, who's very experienced. So, I mean, let's see what the future holds, but the signs are really bright for Indonesia.
Yeah, it's got another couple of years on his contract at the moment, Shin Tae-yong. Oh. All, of course, nicely spaced out. So we await then the first tokens of appreciation. Indonesia get the Fair Play Award. Evan Dimas is going up. That's a little surprising, as they had the most fouls in the tournament.
And they've escaped bookings, which is an art. Well done to Indonesia for winning the Fair Play Award.
When you're the runner-up and you get the Fair Play Award, it's always hard, isn't it? And he's been presented the trophy there by Mr. Lim Kia Tong, the AFF Vice President, also President of the Football Association of Singapore, and Chairman of the local organising committee. And, I think it's been very, very well organised in the end, Roshan.
Oh, yes. It has been incredibly well organized. It's a credit to all the organizers, all the people who've worked so incredibly hard to put we are where we are at the moment. Things have certainly improved. And we hope the positives continue.
Yeah, and I think Manu Polking also said it, didn't he, as well, that we just hope we've given people a little bit of joy and distraction over this time. Here are the semi-finalists. Vietnam pick up a check of $50,000 US as a representative for Vietnam, presented to him by Mr. Winston Lee, the AFF General Secretary. And we should get a pretty decent reception as well for the other losing semi-finalist, of course, who captured the imagination and almost pulled off what would have been one of the stories of the tournament. There you go, there's a reception, because Singapore get the other $50,000 US check. It's been collected by Mr. Lim Kia Tong, who's the president of the Football Association of Singapore. Nine-man Singapore, almost beaten. They came within a missed penalty in the 88th minute of getting into the final. And that one will certainly be a classic for many, many years to come. Always a tough walk when you're a runner-up. But Indonesia led there by Egy Maulana. That's interesting. He's leading the players up. Indonesia, who have fought so hard and have missed out once again on getting a winner's medal. That is never easy. Runners-up, as you can see there, straight runners-up for 3 editions between 2000 and 2004, then 2010, 2016, and again the 2020 edition.
Tough one to take as a nation. 6 finals, 6 times silver medalists. But as I said, I think the difference is you've got a very young side, very young squad here that has the potential to grow. I just hope we're not, a couple of years down the line, wondering again why Indonesia haven't been able to take that next step. But in terms of this campaign, if we're just looking at this, you look at the campaign that they've put in, the effort that they've put in this team, I think they've made people back home very proud. I think Indonesians can be really proud of this team, this young team with plenty of potential and quality. And again, the challenge is just taking the next step. Will they be given those opportunities to do that?
Yeah, there were some limitations ahead of this tournament, and during the tournament as well, as we saw today. But they have certainly won a lot of fans as well with their brand of football. Nadeo, who was not even scheduled to start for his country, a couple of twists and turns helped him become quite the hero for Indonesia, and particularly savouring that penalty. There is so much potential in this side. They are one of the youngest squads in the AFF Suzuki Cup. Shin Tae-yong has to stay in the job, I think that's clear. Continuity is absolutely key in these sort of circumstances. And he's been a real breath of fresh air as well in those press conferences, hasn't he?
He has. I think it's been very good amongst the coaches, and with the press conferences, what they've said. It's been fascinating to watch that little battle between the coaches in those situations, you know. Things they say about each other. He tried to get under Manu Polking's skin a little bit.
Just listen to that, Roshan, as we just hear the crowd roar. They like him, they really like him. And Dato Sri Francisco Kalbuwadile, the AFF Vice President and Chairman of the AFF Competitions Committee, giving out all those medals, and now the mock check of $100,000 US for the runners-up Indonesia.
Yeah, they should be happy with him. The work that he's done, Shin Tae-yong, to take Indonesia into the final of this competition. You know, again, remember in the previews and the build-up to this, not too many people would have expected it.
Tournament committee, and they also collect a winner's check of $300,000 US. That's a nice tidy sum, isn't it? And now the trophy to be presented to the Thai skipper Chanatip Songkrasin. What a tournament he has had yet again. Here we go. And here are your AFF Suzuki Cup 2020 champions, Thailand. For a record-extending 6th time, they celebrate being the champions of Southeast Asia.
You know, it's great to see when the players and the coaches get a chance to give the trophy, because it should be about them. They're the ones who put in the effort on the pitch, on the training ground, in the bubble. They deserve to lift the trophy. They worked hard for moments like this. Thailand deserved winners. Great to see Chanatip getting the chance to lift that trophy. Manapolking as well.
Brilliant scenes for the Thai team, and I'm sure celebrations in Thailand as well, and the huge diaspora. They reclaim their title, the title they always feel that they